Now listen, let's just rip the band-aid off right out the gate. If you just don't like Mihawk, if you just hate Mihawk for any reason, power to you, man, power to you. Like, yo, we accept hatred here on this channel. Like, I would be a ginormous hypocrite to tell anyone that they can't hate a character for X reason when I made a whole video about why I personally hate Shanks. Before anyone says it, Mihawk was an insignificant footnote in that video at best, so don't even try it. You got your reasons and I got mine. Now, moving on with the video though, I genuinely never thought I would ever make a video on Shanks versus Mihawk because literally everyone has thrown in their 2 cents on this matchup. But after God's Valley and the battle Roger and Garp had against Demon Zebek and just seeing a bunch of disingenuous cope online, let me tell y'all right now, there isn't a Shanks fan alive. There isn't a Shanks fan in the whole world who could convince me that Shanks is not a swordsman. Roger and Zebek really hold y'all, not gonna lie. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no divide being created between swordsmanship and a swordsman's rank. That's generally just a bunch of cope. Shanks is a swordsman. Like, some of y'all, not all, but some of y'all have deluded yourselves into genuinely believing that a nigga called the world's strongest swordsman is determined by just how fancy he swings his sword. Nothing to do with strength, despite being stated as the strongest swordsman by Oda upon his introduction. And, you know, the mental gymnastics I have seen to downplay the title is insane. Like, Whitebeard and Kaido, for example. For Kaido, it's a lot easier because the wording is the pirate is said to be the strongest creature alive. Like, sure, you can definitely nitpick that if you want. Like, who exactly is saying that about Kaido? And also, that title was low-key never legitimate now knowing more about Emu. Like, I don't know what exactly they are, but creature is definitely a suitable description for Emu. And for Whitebeard, people bring up that Whitebeard's title as the world's strongest man doesn't count because of how weak he was upon his introduction and at Marineford, and I agree that there are many characters who are packing up old sick beard without a doubt, but then people ignore that Whitebeard earned his title well before the Great Pirate era even started while he was in good health. And so now what? And then you look over at Mihawk and bam, clear as day, no extra wording, straight to the point, and then Mihawk isn't an old man who was literally introduced on life support. Like, I'm sorry y'all, God forbid I'm using Oda as my source. And what else is really stupid about this whole debate is crying and making a big deal about Mihawk being a swordsman with better sword skill than Emperor Shanks. Like, you know, crazy how Oda threw that in there too. Promise you, if he didn't, the argument would have been, well, actually, it's not current Shanks, but Shanks well before his prime. Like, you think I'm playing? That's just how agenda works. But some of y'all really read that sword skill nonsense and just ran away with it, despite him still being called the strongest swordsman in the world immediately after that.
Oh, nah, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. Matter of fact, I'm blind in my left eye and 43% blind in my right eye. I don't see much of nothing. Matter of fact, I can't even see you, sir.
But the real reason why that whole skill argument is dumb is because of the existence of Zoro. Betting against a Straw Hat's dreams has got to be a new level of insanity to me. Zoro's dream for ages has been to defeat Mihawk, and we always see this dude training his ass off, getting stronger, and pushing himself to break his limits. But then you will literally have people buzzing in your ear like flies about how Haki has nothing to do with becoming a stronger swordsman, despite Mihawk teaching Zoro Haki during the time skip. Like, you are genuinely just slow, purposely being disingenuous, French, or a combination of the choices. Like, yes, developing your Haki makes you a stronger swordsman. It makes you a stronger fighter in general. Why? Because it's the power system of the world of One Piece. Like, come on now, man. Like, every fighter worth their salt uses Haki. Even fodder Marines can use Haki. Haki augments pre-existing fighting styles and makes them stronger. That's one thing that hasn't changed since it got introduced to the story. Stop being willfully ignorant if you think otherwise. You know better. Like, people always want to say, well, Mihawk is the strongest swordsman, but Shanks is simply just stronger. Bro, if Shanks really has so much Haki that he can defeat Mihawk in a battle, that just means he is actually the strongest swordsman, and Oda has been lying to us for over 20 years. Some of y'all really genuinely believe Whitebeard, a man who has fought Roger on numerous occasions, someone who clashed with someone as powerful as Demon Rocks, would call a duel between Shanks and Mihawk with no Haki legendary. Y'all deadass think they were just fencing. And people hate when you bring up Zoro because it breaks their argument in half. Like, Zoro is not at Mihawk's level just yet. He is still chasing after him. The story at this point makes it very clear that Zoro has more room to grow when it comes to developing his Haki. And yet this man literally had Big Mom and Kaido shook and forced them to dodge his attack. This man was like, he had like 30 broken bones and goes and cuts Kaido open and he even realized he unlocked Conqueror's Haki then. And I'm supposed to believe that Mihawk is not like that. Get the fuck out of here, man. Keep coping, brother. And I know someone is gonna say it, it. And yes, Mihawk does have Conqueror's Haki. Zoro and Mihawk have the same dream, the same ambition. The only difference being that Zoro is chasing after it while Mihawk already achieved it. Keep making all the black paint and Vista memes all you want. I'm a moonwalk all over that shit. All that is just cope in my eyes. You sound like the same people who swore on everything that Garp was not a Conqueror's Haki user. Now look where we are. And now I want to switch things up and talk about fighting styles, because we need to address probably my least favorite aspect of the entire debate, defining what Shanks' fighting style is. Let me repeat myself one more time. Shanks is a swordsman. There's no running from it anymore. He is not simply a sword user. He does not just use his sword like a baseball bat. Don't even try to pull that hockey man nonsense out, because the only true hockey man in the story is Garp. No weapons, no devil fruit, just his fist. End of story. You are not about to look me dead in the eye and see Roger swing his blade around while it's drenched in hockey and say that he's a swordsman, but his adopted son, the dude he trained, the prodigy so skilled he was able to replicate divine departure at the age of 15, not a swordsman. Like, people will literally bring up that King statement, talk about himself not being a swordsman, ignore the context of King saying that immediately after he threw a punch at Zoro's face. Now, I don't know about you, my dear viewer, but I don't think Shanks is gonna regrow his arm anytime soon. I don't think any hockey magic from a Haki Wizard is doing that, unless he starts kicking like Sanji. Stop bringing up his fighting style, Cope. I've seen so many people say that it's just so obvious that Shanks has another fighting style, and then they never elaborate on why it's so obvious. What gave you that hint, brother? Is it when he clashed with Whitebeard using his sword? Or maybe it was when he ended kids' fucking dreams using the same sword attack as the man Shanks loves the most in this world? Like, I will never take you seriously if you're not going to actually define what makes the second fighting style so obvious. Shanks is literally just Roger with one arm, and we now know how Roger gets down. Roger and Garp are literally sharing notes about how to use their Haki when fighting against demon rocks, and Roger's ultimate attack just ends up being a bunch of sword slashes. Zebek blatantly gets hyped up for his swordsmanship, but oh guys, it's like a cannon blast. We've never seen that happen in the story before. It doesn't actually cut, and then they'll ignore Zebek casually cutting a mountain twice. Enough with the bullshit. And all you're gonna do is just constantly move the goalpost whenever things don't go your way, and it's pathetic. If you want to have a conversation, if you want to argue for why Shanks is stronger, that's fine. But don't go and constantly downplay a title stamped by the author that has remained as such for 20 plus years, tear down another important character's dream in a story that holds dreams very highly, go and make up random fighting styles with no clear definition as to what the fighting style is, constantly categorize Shanks as anything under the sun but a swordsman, and blatantly ignore all prominent examples of swordsmen using powerful Haki like Zoro, Roger, or Zebek. That shit will not work on me. And if there's one thing from this video I want you to hear before closing, it's this. If Shanks truly does have another fighting style, if he actually gets revealed to be stronger than Mihawk and Zoro needs to actually fight him instead, if everything we've seen with Zebek and Roger's swordsmanship doesn't matter because Shanks gets the oh so special exception with his hidden Pokemon ability that he has, I'll hold my L. I won't be a coward. I'm not gonna move the goalposts or say I'm quitting the debate, quitting agenda piece. Y'all can tear me to shreds and I'll just take that L. And this isn't about softening the blow either. That's just how agenda piece works. But until further notice, Shanks is a swordsman and Mihawk is the strongest swordsman. Hope you have a great day and please stay safe. Peace.